shuffles, right? You got to figure out a way to replace a guy who was a starter for 16 games last year. Obviously, didn't have the best year, but there was still, room for improvement, and he showed promise. And it's a different ball game now. It becomes a question mark.
There, that was TD on Robbie on Rex Road on Friday, following the news that Nicholas Petit-Frere will be suspended for the first 6 games of the 2023 NFL season for violating the league's gambling policy. Now, Nicholas Petit-Frere put out a statement and said, "I did not bet on NFL games. I didn't do the wrong thing. I just did it in the wrong place." Nicholas Petit-Frere has violated the rule in the NFL's policy that you can't gamble at team facilities. And ever since that came out, we ourselves, Titans Twitter, you and our text lines and our phone lines have said, well, that's dumb. If they can bet at home, why can't they bet at the facilities? And we've begged the question, if there are more and more players that come out or get, investigated for betting at team facilities, and now all of a sudden you've got 45 players in the league that have been suspended for 6 games for betting at team facilities, are they going to reevaluate the rule? Are they going to reevaluate the way that rule is portrayed? The NFL held a conference call with the media over the weekend and basically said, no, we're not going to do anything about it. This was Sabrina Perrell, who is the NFL Chief Compliance Officer, basically the rationale for it. She said they're at work. Should they be gambling at all while they're at work? We are very clear there to make sure where all that applies to, and that it's no betting of any kind while they are at work. If you're going to do it, you can do that on your personal time. It really is just sort of counterintuitive to, if our number one mission is to protect the integrity, why are we having gambling in the workplace? Does that change at all our thoughts about, or maybe impression of the rule?
I think, I'm sure every league has got to sit there and go, okay, we're taking these, should we say millions of dollars? Like, it's millions of dollars league-wide. I don't know how much each team gets, but each team in the league is getting, substantial dollars from these things, from the gambling sites, right? The fact that it's legal, the fact that they're advertising everywhere you look, the leagues are benefiting from that. So each league has to sit there and say, okay, now how do we think that looks from a PR standpoint? That sounds like a PR statement to me. But on the other side of the coin, what we discussed is it does seem a little hypocritical to take all of the money and then tell the guys you can't gamble. It's obvious that you can't gamble on your own sport. But the NFL, I thought, they went to another level by creating this whole thing on the grounds. I think in a lot of people's minds, when you're on your phone, you could be on the planet Mars. If you get a signal, you can place a bet. So I think a lot of people were like, look, now that we have this, the way bets are done, who cares if there's a betting window or you're actually in Vegas? What's the difference in a lot of people's minds? But I think, obviously for the NFL, they do think it's a big difference of where you are when you do this.
Whether they think it's a big difference or not, I think they're just in protection mode. We are going to protect the shield. They may think it's, they may think, this is so, why are we even dealing with this? Why do we even, why did somebody even put this in our lap? Guys that are, if it ain't betting on actual NFL games, why did y'all even give this to us? Now we got to do something because the rule is you can't bet on NFL grounds. Now we got to do it. But the NFL they have to protect the shield. So I'm not surprised with the statement that came out as far as they don't think anything's going to change. Maybe if it comes out that more guys, and they may be finished with the investigation. But if it does come out that more guys have bet period, I think they would have to sort of look at changing it because it's I don't think it's necessarily it's about how many people, yes, but I think it's about who those players are. relative to how many there is. There's 9, 10 people. I think Ian told us 9 guys
Which
that have
it
been
seems
suspended.
like more
Yeah,
than
it
9.
seems like it's been more than that, but 9. If those 9 players were, I don't know,
Pro bowlers.
exactly, pro bowlers,
Quarterbacks.
all the pros, quarterbacks,
1,000-yard rushers.
exactly. Now it's like whoa, hold on. We may need to change how we sort of monitor this. We may need to be a little bit more lenient. You can't bet on NFL games, but yeah, y'all can. If you want to bet on your college game or cornhole or something like that, you can do it within the building.
Hot dog eating
exactly,
contest.
you can bet on it. But because it wasn't the all pros and the pro bowlers and potential Hall of Famers, then it's like, okay, we don't need to change anything. Why should we change anything? It's not hurting the sport that Nicholas is out for 6 games or Isaiah Rodgers is out for 6 games or even Calvin Ridley. It's not, even though Calvin Ridley is a Pro Bowl type of player, he's young in the game.
He's not Patrick
Exactly.
Mahomes.
He's not Mahomes. He's not Jefferson. He's not
Yeah.
Chase. He's not those guys. So until those guys, which I hope it never happens, but until guys of that caliber is on that list, the NFL is not going to do anything. They're going to keep it the way it is.
Which, and in this statement from the NFL on the conference call, I always laugh whenever I hear league representatives talking about protecting the identity, or the integrity, rather, of the shield. Like, Nicholas Petit-Frere going to the bathroom in the facility and placing a bet is detrimental to the integrity of the shield, but Deshaun Watson sexually assaults 26 women, but that's fine?
I don't care. I mean, no, we'll take a little bit of money from him.
That is the frustrating thing. And I know that statement from the league was meant to kind of clarify the meaning of the rule and why they have that rule in place, and I get it. And there's probably every workplace in America that says, hey, don't gamble at work. But I'm sure people do, right? It's not that big of a deal.
If
It's
somebody
like you
is
go on Twitter,
in the
you go on your
bathroom
email. If you're in the bathroom
or in the
and
lounge and they're on their phone, how do you know what they're doing?
you don't. And
Somebody's
so-
going to tell on them. These sites are ratting people out. I mean,
But
hey.
so-and-so who works at the local insurance company can do that, and it's fine. But if
Right.
you work in the NFL, and I know if you play in the NFL, you're held to a higher standard, and you're compensated very handsomely for that. I just think it made the rule even more silly to me that, you can't gamble at work. You don't want these players gambling at work. Everyone does it, but it doesn't make the rule any less of a rule.
It to me,
It's
it's
dumb,
like
but it's a rule.
It's like having a 6-game suspension for what amounts. Look, I don't want to. I know there's going to be people that get addicted and have a problem. We're going to need some help, and maybe some of that could have been avoided if it weren't so easy to do. But it does sound like the league is almost trying to go get guys for a speeding ticket, right?
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
6 games for a speeding ticket in some ways.
And
You could look at it that way.
And I understand the league's urgency to maintain a sense of, parity in the league as it comes to betting, and they don't want betting to become a problem. I think that the NFL wants to keep its product and betting as separated as possible, as little as it might feel like that, since the Saints play in the Caesar Superdome, and you can't watch a single football game without being inundated with sportsbook ads. But as it comes to on-the-field play, I think they want to keep it as separate as possible. So I understand it. I get it from their point of view. It seems very silly, and I think it is incredibly silly. It's a rule nonetheless.
Yeah.
Titans will be right tackle-less nonetheless.
Yeah.
And sometimes
The
the
rules are
speed
the
traps
rules
are out
sometimes.
there so that that they're not going to be there every time. But they make you think about it. That, oh my gosh, 9 guys got suspended, 6 games. I can't do this. It's just sending a message. I think trying to get the habits set. Hopefully, this won't be a thing every year, but they probably are going to catch a few guys.
Yeah.
They catch more than they would have if they didn't have this rule.
I feel like it's more than there's going to be more that come out, and it's a waving a flag from the NFL to say we have zero tolerance for this. As silly as you might think that the rules are. Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase is brought to you by the News and Sports Sportsbook, the only sportsbook in Tennessee with a cash rewards program. Betting just got better. Download their app today. We are right into your phones coming up next. We've got gambling thoughts. We've got Predators thoughts. All of those coming up next. Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every day we are live and local.
You need to give Ron Tannehill a 2-year extension.
There haven't been too many coaching changes for the Predators. And your source for Nashville sports.
I think that's what the Titans need.
Players who can score. We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Seems like everything costs more these days. Food, utilities, medical costs, you name it. But as prices go up, our family budget stays the same. Fortunately, with Farm Bureau Health Plan's Core Choice coverage, we can save $3,600 a year compared to the leading competitor. And we've got better coverage with a lower premium, lower deductible, free telehealth visits, and access to one of the largest networks available. Start saving today at fbhp.com or visit your local Farm Bureau office.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hey, Tennessee! We're Zen Sports, the new sportsbook in town. We listen to your feedback on our competitors, so we designed Zen Sports just the way you wish. Set favorites, search and sort bets, and earn real cash rewards, saving you time and money with every bet you make. Find the bets you want, not those distracting bets that seem too good to be true but rarely are. Best of all, withdraw your winnings in under 24 hours. So take control of your bets, because with Zen Sports, betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and up and in Tennessee to bet.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429, has a path to a dignified career. Are you a skilled electrician or lineman? Tired of dead-end, low-paying jobs? Local 429 is accepting applications for highly skilled electricians and linemen and is providing the best training in Middle Tennessee. They are the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429. Call them at 615-889-4429 or go online to ibew429.org. IBEW Local 429, the best training and training the best.
Hey Nashville, Trey Wingo here. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hey, this week's Nashville's best deal is Calabria Brick Oven Pizzeria. Calabria has bin a Mount Juliet staple for 7 years, and they have added a brand new Goodlettsville location at 401 Long Hollow Pike. Their brick oven pizza is cooked to perfection, and right now you can get half off a $20 gift card at thegamenashville.com/deals while supplies last. Doing a potpourri of your thoughts. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, discussing Nicholas Petit-Frere's suspension, Hassan Haskins, the Nashville Predators. Everything is on the table. Mark is on the line. Our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. What's up, Mark?
Hey, what's going on? I was listening and I heard I've heard it for years, but the protect the shield phrase with the gambling situation, the way it is now, I'd like to find out what the actual number of revenue dollars that the shield takes in from gambling sites, anything connected to a casino, whether it's naming rights, anything involved that has a direct line to gambling, how much money they, I'm not sure that's really protecting the shield. The shield likes to take in as much money from those sites as possible, and then they're trying to keep the players and everything else at arm's length. And it's just they're straddling the fence, and I think they're losing. But I think if you're going to protect the shield, you got to say none of that can take place.
Yeah.
It's kind of an all or nothing, and they're trying to get the best of both worlds.
Thanks for your call, Mark. I appreciate your insight.
Well, I mean, I
mean,
just
individual
looked up,
franchises, I have to say, make millions of dollars off of sports books every year.
Well, there was a report by Bleach. I think this is Bleacher Report. But this was 5 years ago, somewhere around there. 4 or 5 years ago. No, 5 years ago, because it's 23 now. So 5 years ago. And it was titled NFL could make $2.3 billion a year from gambling market. Whew. That's a lot of money. So we understand why the NFL has become, because for a long time the NFL didn't want that part. They didn't even want to move to Vegas to have a team in Vegas because they didn't want to have that association with gambling and everything else. But as gambling started to become legal, you didn't need, brick and mortars. You can pick up your phone and then they started seeing all the money that was rolling in. They conveniently got in bed with them. And, it helps everybody in a sense. I'm not going to sit here and be hypocritical and say, well, at the NFL, they shouldn't. They just wag their finger. Because the players are getting money. All this money is going in. All this money that they're getting from, whether it be gambling or anywhere else, it goes toward player salary. So that's why players are getting the contracts that they're getting now, because of the sponsorships, because of the television deals, all this other stuff. So I understand why the league is doing it. That's why you won't hear players come out and say the rules need to be changed.
Right.
Active players, at least I don't think I've heard any active players come out and say they need to be changed. Because
the NFLPA has come out and said we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Because they know how much money comes from this, and they know the cut of the pie that they're getting because of the gambling websites and the NFL being in partnership with them. So the NFL is not going to sever their ties with gambling.
The horse is out of that barn.
Exactly. They're not going. I don't know if they're even going to change the rules. But, I mean, as hypocritical as it sounds and as it is, you ain't going to hear no complaining from the players. None whatsoever. You know what the players are going to say? Dude, just don't do it. Yeah, that's what they're going to say. Yeah. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it is the simplest solution. And I am sure that every player that has been, cracked for violating the league's gambling policy, I'm sure they're all good people who just did the wrong thing. Just did it in the wrong place. That just didn't read the fine print well enough. And you know what? That's unfortunate because now they have to pay the price for it. But I understand the league's hesitation with players and gambling. And I understand the league's guidelines with players and gambling. Because it's not just the association with the Shield and these sports books. It's the league wanting to make sure that the product that they have on the field is not compromised by any outside influence. Isaiah Rodgers, I think he was a special teams player of some sort for the Indianapolis Colts.
Now that was an idiot.
He placed a bet on over-under rushing yards for an Indianapolis Colts running back. That is what the league is afraid of. What if it's, let's say hypothetically, I am Tennessee Titans running back. I place a bet on myself for under rushing yards, and all of a sudden my ankle starts to hurt. That's compromising the integrity of the Shield because that's basically illegal. What you're doing is illegal, and you're fixing games. So I don't think it's just the association between the NFL and insert sportsbook here. It's wanting to make sure that the NFL is not influenced by betting in terms of an on-the-field product.
Well, that's what you have to protect at all costs.
That's the number one thing.
You don't want to get to a space that obviously baseball was in at one point with the Pete Rose thing, and then the NBA with the whole the ref that was betting on games. The NFL they don't want to be in those waters.
And I'm guessing that's probably part of the thinking with the policy now. Okay, it starts with you're just in there, you're gambling on games. What's the big deal? It's college games, it's basketball games. But then you have a problem, and then all of a sudden you need some money, and now you're talking to some people who you owe money to. I mean, it's the age-old thing that, your habit starts snowballing on you and you can't control it. That's, I think, what they're hoping to curtail.
Well, here's another one. Now, this is a more recent article. Let me see. Yeah, it's a more recent article, and I just had it. Oh, it said the question was the NFL team sponsorship revenue reaches new heights. That's the title this season. Sponsorship revenues totaled $2.05 billion across the 32 NFL teams in 22 and 23 season, a new league record. It's up 14%. So it ain't going nowhere.
No.
It ain't going nowhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Either you adapt or you get out.
If you have not caught on by now that the league is money motivated, well, let me introduce you to the idea that the NFL's number one priority is making money, and that's fine. It's a business. It's not a nonprofit organization. But whenever your number one priority is money, when you're driven by money, sometimes there are things that come out that look awfully hypocritical because you're money motivated. That's not the first time that the league has made a move like that, and it surely will not be the last. Mike Texan says it's a minimal expectation and requirement for a professional athlete to refrain from gambling at work.
Well, I mean, when you sign that contract, in regards of whether we may think, that's the stupid rule, really. If it ain't NFL games, then let these guys gamble. Well, they do let them gamble. Just can't gamble on league premises. Nowhere. In a hotel, on a plane, at the stadium, at an event, anything that is deemed a team activity or function, whatever, you just can't make the bet. So
I think it's a minimal requirement to just know the rules. Yeah. That's really my thing. And it's, gambling at work, if you want to say it's a dumb rule, if you want to say it's not, you're entitled to that opinion. My biggest thing is just make sure that you, an individual player, and you, a GM or a coach, make sure that all of your players are up to date with the rule, and then we wouldn't have this issue. Yeah. We wouldn't have this problem. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
He knows the ins and outs of the Titans and isn't afraid to give his opinion.
Traylon Burks needs a massive offseason.
He's Jonathan Hutton of Outkick.
I don't see how they make a move without going to Ryan Tannehill.
Catch him every Monday at 10:30 on Chase and Michelle, and every Wednesday at noon on Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase. Hutton is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Teron Davenport, and we're changing the game. Help your bets stay hot this summer at Superbook Sports, the most trusted name in sports gambling with a direct line to Las Vegas. And now, when you use the promo code The Game, you score up to $250 with their first bet bonus. Win or lose, Superbook will match your first bet up to $250 with promo code The Game. Download the Superbook Sports app, enter the promo code The Game, and you'll get $250 courtesy of Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
3 days of racing, 3 days of music, one huge weekend event. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is not just a race or a festival, it's an experience. Multiple music stations with Flo Rida, Vince Neil, Chris Jansen, Gavin DeGraw, and more. Fast cars going over 200 miles an hour. And a family fun zone with inflatables, Ferris wheels, kids games, and kid-friendly food trucks. Tickets and premium hospitality are on sale now. Go to MusicCityGP.com for tickets and get ready to experience Nashville's premier speed and sound event.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-587-5063. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-587-5063 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-587-5063 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-587-5063.
If it's important to Nashville,
I'll put it out right now.
It's important to Jared Stillman.
Like, that's it.
He's not afraid to ask the tough questions.
Something is going on, and the question is, what does it mean?
Or give the strong opinion.
And just needed the bozo offensive coordinator to stop ruining the quarterback.
Stillman and Company. Weekdays at 2 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Having some fun in the midday.
Yeah, it's awesome.
This is Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
15,000 generations of humanity, yet we have evolved not at all. Bound like animals to the laws of physics, shamed before the universe. And in all of history, only one man has stood to say that he will dictate what is and is not possible in this world. I speak of this man, for he has broken reality, and all of time pours down around us now at once, simultaneous and endless, erasing cause and effect and opening all possibilities before us. And the ancient powers are subordinated to their own creation. And they smile at his achievement. And they say he shall live forever. For he does not do it for money. He does not do it for glory. He does it for his people. He does it for his country. He does it for freedom. And the gods shine down on us now. And the gods shine down on us still. Because of him alone. Because of him alone. The Nathan's famous 4th of July champion of the world. Joey
Chestnut! Joey Chestnut!
Oh my goodness.
Did anybody think that was truly the most dramatic, goosebump-inducing, motivating, inspirational intro I think that I have ever heard. I've seen Super Bowls, I've seen college football national titles, I've seen WWE wrestling matches. Nothing, no sort of introduction has compared to that introduction for a man who eats hot dogs for a living.
That was, I thought Achilles or Hercules was coming to the stage or something, man. God, some mythic Roman god is just gonna save the world. Goodness. Good for Joey Chestnut. Gosh, that was a hell of an introduction.
That thing, I think you were saying, Caroline, you've watched the 30 for 30.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give any 30 for 30 a chance. I watched that. I was like, did I really just watch that whole thing?
You have to, though.
I'm not somebody. Look, I am a huge baseball fan, so I am focused on watching baseball games on 4th of July. I don't need the hot dog contest as part of my
It's a staple
annual
now.
thing. I know
it's a staple, Willie.
That's kind of my point. Is ESPN has made this into something because they have the hype train behind it. They actually, I saw Awful
they have
announcing.
Their superstar.
Awful announcing put a clip on and actually wrote a little piece on. Even SportsCenter, they have this. Is it a sport? Is he one of the greatest athletes of his generation? Come on, are we really going there? But they've created this, and of course they've got the hype train behind it up there. And because there's not much else going on in the sports world at this time of the year, it's the biggest thing going on ESPN. If you get drawn into it, which I could take it or leave it. I don't really care. I don't have anything against it, but I don't. Actually having a debate on whether he's the best athlete of his generation compared to Shohei Ohtani.
Inherently American than a gluttony contest.
Got a point there. Well,
I love to wake up on the 4th of July. You grab a bomb pop. You're going to the pool for the day. You throw on the hot dog eating contest. I don't know if you can have 4th of July without Joey Chestnut. And we avoided disaster yesterday because for a moment there, briefly, the hot dog eating contest got canceled because of weather. And Joey Chestnut was persistent on making sure this contest happened. He said, I'm going to get the rest of the guys out here and we're going to do this effort. Like he walked in and he stomped back in. And he made sure that the hot dog eating contest got done. But let me just say.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not
we can
suggesting
do the hot dog eating contest in here. The room doesn't need to be big.
We'll offer it up.
Yeah.
It might smell a little gross.
Exactly. I mean,
maybe a new arena that has a retractable roof. You can get a better crowd. Because the Nathan's part of it is, I mean, that's, where, I mean, the famous hot dogs and stuff, that's where it originated.
Yeah.
You got to have it there, right? You can't take it on the road like the NFL draft now, right?
It has to be Coney Island.
Yeah.
It has to be. I mean, there's nothing more Coney Island
I can't believe you
shoving
guys
hot dogs in your mouth.
Now, Derek, how many times have you watched it?
I've watched
it a couple times.
I've watched it a couple of times.
I've watched it a couple times, but I am not waking up on the 4th of July and saying, okay, here's my day. The hot dog eating is coming on at this time. When does
it comes on early, doesn't it?
Usually around like 11 noon. Yeah.
Yeah. So
right?
I hadn't seen it in a while.
Heat of the day. To make sure that when you're, eating your 75 hot dogs, you're also sweating in 100-degree heat. Mm-hmm. But I mean, all you need is a tent. I mean, I don't know how much money is invested in the hot dog eating contest, but I have to think it's probably a good bit. I mean, Joey Chestnut's got all the sponsors. It's on ESPN. There's a good bit of money into this, and we're just going to cancel it because of weather?
No.
Not on my watch. Not in my country. Absolutely not.
Hey, well, I'm sure next year they will be prepared. I'm sure there will be a tent up, something huge that they can sit up underneath where they can eat their hot dogs. But yeah, I can't watch it anymore. I'm sorry, Caroline.
But okay, here's my next question, Caroline, for you.
Uh-huh.
You're into this contest. Are you worried it's a little bit like UConn basketball, women's basketball for a while? It's just there's no contenders. There's nobody that can challenge Joey.
You see, I think that some sports need superstars. And that's what hot dog eating has in Joey Chestnut. You take Joey Chestnut away, who are you cheering for? Who are you turning the TV on? It's like smaller sports. I think that football, there's room for several superstars. There's room for the underdog. But in smaller, like in golf, so to speak, golf needs Tiger Woods. I know that you have the Ricky Fowlers and the Brooks Koepkas, but it needs Tiger Woods.
But don't you need a challenger? It's like
you
Ford
need like that
needs
other
McEnroe.
guy.
That's where Kobayashi comes in.
But where is he? Where is Kobayashi?
We don't have that guy.
He retired.
Yeah. The whole documentary was on, Kobayashi and Chestnut.
See, that's what really made it. Don't you think that's what brought it to the height?
Exactly.
That is
like
what made it.
The rivalry between those two.
The competition.
Now you don't have that.
Yeah.
But you still, as long as you have
is there an
Chestnut,
up and comer? Like who's the number one contender?
There's now a women's league. So the women's hot dog eating contest.
Women's league.
So that's something.
How many hot dogs have you eaten in one city?
If I have more than 2, I think I would vomit.
Okay. Okay, man.
So I'm definitely not in contention.
Yeah.
I have no desire to participate in the hot dog eating contest.
You've never even tried to say,
I like to be an
see
observer.
How many I can eat.
No.
No.
Not
I know you've thrown down a few hot dogs, Willie.
I can go 3. I can go 4.
Okay.
Probably
you would be
challenged.
You would not even make the semi. You wouldn't even make the entry. Like you got to eat at least 20 hot dogs.
Could you go 62 in 10 minutes?
No.
Right.
I've never entered a contest, even just for fun. Like what the technique of the dipping into the water and
that sounds awful.
I don't really want to do that, but I think like at a cookout, it is something that we all have to have. Is our
hot dog.
Do you want another one? Do you want another one? They're all sitting right there.
He's going for a full chestnut.
You could go 3.
Or some you just grab
4.
without the bun. You just grab the meat and just eat the hot dog. Or the sausage or whatever. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's different than a contest, speed eating and stuff like that. But
well,
I have seen in the press box many a times, where you got hot dogs in there. Some people can go multiple hot dogs.
Slow game day.
Yeah. They're famous up there.
Yeah.
They're known for those. And so we always have to just set our day when we go to the Saddle Dome. Okay, Pete is going to bring a huge mound of hot dogs in here. So be ready. Don't eat beforehand.
I just think with an event of this caliber, We could have a weather backup.
Yeah.
We could.
You
we
want
could
next
have
level.
something.
Next level. A state-of-the-art facility.
I want there to be respect on the hot dog eating contest.
But see, that's where Joey Chestnut comes in. He's the face. He's the guy that everybody looks at when things go wrong, and he needs to fix it. And what did he do?
And he fixed it.
Fixed it.
That's why he is on my Mount Rushmore of professional athletes. Joey Chestnut, champion yet again.
Joey, LeBron, Michael,
Serena.
Joey. Yeah, Joey. Okay. There we go.
And we were almost robbed of the privilege to see greatness before our eyes, yet Joey Chestnut comes through again. Joey. That's going to do it for us today. Hope everyone had a good 4th of July weekend. Stillman and Company is up next.
Be loved and love on your people. Peace.
94.9 The Fan.